Okay. Hi, Walter. So whether you choose to close your eyes or to turn your gaze inwardly and welcome your experience as it appears to you. Whatever sensations arise, thoughts, images, the breath, a certain maybe vibration within the body. Simply to be aware without any interest in correcting your experience or holding on to anything or pursuing anything. Is sort of a relaxation, no effort, do not exert. Yourself in any direction. Notice that sensations appear and disappear within the spaciousness of awareness. The sound of these words appear and disappear effortlessly. Maybe the sound of traffic or the singing of the birds or the hum of the fan. Images on the screen of awareness. You perceive the thought, the sound, without any effort. Whether the sound appears to you or a moment of silence, there is nothing that's happening to you. Meaning, you are the same spaciousness of awareness. Neither augmented when a thought appears or a sound appears, nor are you diminished in the absence of a sound or in the absence of a thought. You are the same effortless presence in the presence of perceptions, or in the absence of perceptions. This effortless presence is transparent, meaning there are no gates, no doors, no shape, no form. It has no phenomenal quality. It is like the wide open sky, available to a cloud in the shape of a dragon, or a cloud in the shape of an angel, or no cloud. This availability of awareness is inherent to its non-phenomenality. In other words, there are no conditions that apply to this effortless awareness. It is equal to itself when it's perceiving these words, or when it's perceiving the sound of traffic. So recognize yourself as this formless awareness, which effortlessly is itself. There is no effort involved in being aware. There is no effort in noticing the breath, noticing the sensation of your back against the chair or the couch. There is no effort involved in recognizing that I am aware. You don't need to remember anything in order to know that you are aware. in this moment. You don't need to figure out any puzzle. To know that you are, whatever that is. Effort is this attempt to be somebody, to maintain some sort of identity, to identify with it, to maintain it or defend it. But to be this aware presence right now, the reality which perceives this perception. There is no effort. Although there is a perception or a sensation of a body, a male body, a female body, whatever. It is not the body which I am. I perceive the body as sensation, as images. I may perceive images of the body or not. In either case, I am not the images. I may perceive an oak tree in the yard, or the sun shining on the surface of the pond. But I am not defined by that which I perceive. Images appear and disappear. The transparency of awareness, which has no name, no age, no gender, is, meaning it neither appears nor disappears, yet it is undeniable, undeniable. So I recognize myself as that transparency, as that reality, because that is what I is. I is this awareness. Which is neither tall nor short. Which is neither in the past nor in the future. So I recognize myself as this formless absolute reality. That is the first step towards our understanding about our true nature. But not the final step. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure you unmute your mic, and this would be a good time to explore whatever speaks to you. So any questions?
I wanted to ask Magdi, I have done meditation for many, many years.
Yes.
And I still have the urge of a doer. But also, when the doer pops up, there is something behind it that wants to deal with the doer. And I feel both are appearances in awareness. And I think this is where this effortlessness I find very, very helpful. When you also talked about, listening to the breathing as well as it appears, I kind of have a thought just pops so that no, that's not what is usually done in the direct path. We just don't focus on anything, but it still helps me to calm my body in a way. And I think it's very helpful to feel this transparency coming. And it may be a little cloud that focuses on the breathing, but behind it, there's the sky. It's kind of like, that is the essence of everything, the source of everything.
There is a difference in focusing on the breathing and sort of not noticing the breathing. Usually in focusing, we sort of quotes unquote block other things and sort of focus on a particular object. Noticing is sort of more open, because in noticing, so you're noticing the breathing, but it's not excluding the sound of the birds or the sound of traffic or an itch, maybe, or so I like more than noticing, the word, the concept of noticing, which is more effortless than focusing. Just wanted to share that little comment, with you. And yes, sort of in the noticing, it's an exercise in a way. How we notice the sounds, perceptions, sensations, thoughts, images. Of course, it's a sort of a crude way of categorizing our experience. It's sort of like, here's a category of thoughts, here's a category of perceptions, here's a category of sensation. It's just a tool. It's a way of formulating our experience, sort of classifying it a little bit, while in fact, even a perception is not separate from a sensation, and it's not separate from a thought or an image. It's sort of, there isn't a sharp demarcation line between a thought and a sensation. When we take a close look at it, we find that it's an ensemble. It's just a helpful way of speaking, of pointing. Okay, for example, like saying, well, here's the room, but notice the door, notice the couch, notice the chair. But in fact, your perception is more global than we're not seeing it, the door and not the chair, or the couch and not the door. Yeah, more global. In terms of choosing, or doing, the doer, the chooser, or the doer. We have a sense in our experience that I am doing, I am choosing to come to satsang, I'm choosing to go to the market, I'm choosing to, plant some roses in the garden. We do have that sense that I am choosing. So there is a sort of a fallacy in the Advaita teaching that there is no chooser, and that therefore you know, the sense that I have, the feeling that I have that I'm choosing to plant a rose rather than a gardenia is a result of ignorance, is a mistake. But I'm not sure that it is. The way I look at it is that the sense that I'm choosing is a correct sense. I'm choosing to plant a rose rather than a gardenia. But the I that is choosing is not the body-mind, is not, well, the I, that which chooses, is not an object. So the body, the mind, the way I look at the body and the mind, I look at the body as an experience. Like right now, we have an experience of the body. Our experience of the body, I would say, is sensations. We sense, we have a sensation, maybe perception too. We may be looking at our hands or looking in the mirror, or we may have an image. So the body, the way we experience the body, we experience the body as sensations mostly, and as images. And the fact that we experience the body as sensations and images, meaning that the body as sensations and images appears to awareness. It appears within awareness. A sensation of hunger, for example, appears within awareness. It appears to awareness. So I, that which perceives the sensation, that which perceives the body, is not the body. Is awareness. So the key thing here is in our sense of I'm choosing to plant a rose rather than a gardenia, is to be clear about what the I is. The I that is choosing is not Nathan or a male or a female body. It's I consciousness. So I hesitate to say that there is no chooser. Rather, I'm often, hopefully, clear in stating that there is no separate chooser, because consciousness is not separate. Consciousness is universal. I know we haven't gotten into that. I'm maybe jumping, but given that consciousness is not personal, I often point at, and we need to be clear that there is no separate chooser. But yet there is a chooser. I chose to schedule satsang today. You chose to come to attend to the satsang. That same I, the I that chose to schedule satsang and the I that chose to attend satsang, it's I consciousness. I, whatever you refer, whatever truly is I. Now the problem that we have with I is that we have this belief that I is Nathan, I is a male form, or I depends on a form, and so we have a sort of a belief about about consciousness, that consciousness depends on the body mind. That's where we sort of slip into ignorance, into believing that there is a personal chooser. And so in teaching, often we share there is no personal chooser, because if you look at what is it that chooses right now, you will find that there's only one reality, which is the reality of consciousness, and that is not a personal reality. There is no personal reality, in fact.
Thank you very much. I understand.
Yeah, Nathan, thank you. Yeah. So, thank you for your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Magdi, can you talk about a little bit conditional and in connection with I?
I'm sorry,
I mean,
can you repeat that? Talk about? I didn't hear.
Self, ego, and like you said, there's no personal chooser.
Yes.
Like if you can connect with the saying conditional, everything happening around us depends on condition. Even what we gaze, it is I. That I is not sustaining all the time with one personal preference. It changes condition to condition. So if you think from that perspective, how personal choosers probably can explain better than me. You say what I'm asking for. Maybe I'm not sure if I said it right.
I can speak about what I understood your question, and you can, of course, repose your question. But in terms of conditionality, in conditionality, A depends on B, B depends on C, or A depends on B and C. The body depends on the mind, or the body depends on the gravity and other forces within the universe, and our galaxy operates within the conditional realm and relationship of other galaxies, etc. I mean, the realm of conditionality, first, it's important to be clear that when we're speaking about conditionality, we're speaking about perceptions. We're speaking about phenomena. Phenomena includes all the realm of perceptions, including quote unquote gross perceptions, objects, planets, galaxies, oceans, bodies. Also, it includes subtle perceptions, because there are perceptions such as thoughts, sensations, images. So the realm of perceptions is a realm of appearances, that which appears. We are not talking about that which perceives. We're not speaking about the reality that perceives. We're talking about that which appears. A good metaphor to talk about conditionality or phenomena is in your dream, your night dream. In your night dream, there are all sorts of appearances that appear within your night dream. People, places, strange objects, they appear in your night dream, and they are real from the perspective of the night dream. They appear to be real. Also, in your night dream, there are thoughts and conversations and images. So in your night dream, a good metaphor is that the night dream is made out of appearances, and there are relationships within the night dream. For example, in the night dream, a young boy throws a stone in the water. But when the stone hits the water, there are ripples. Ploof, there is a sound, ploof, and there are ripples in the water. So there is a causality. There is a relationship. There is a conditionality between the stone flying in the space and hitting the water, and then the water splattering and making a sound. So in that realm of the dream, there are conditionalities. But when you wake up, you realize something very important. You realize first that this entire realm of appearance, perceptions, sensations, thoughts, images, feelings, emotions, did not have a reality of its own outside of you dreaming it. Outside of you dreaming it, it did not have a reality of its own. So in other words, you realize that the reality of this entire realm, all the conditions, the reality is you, the dreamer, the creator in a way. You're the creator of that dream. And also, you are the perceiver of the dream. So you are creating and perceiving. Simultaneously, you're creating and perceiving. So in other words, whatever conditions that occur or arise in the dream, they are your creation. You are the choreographer. You are the creator. You are that which creates these conditions. Now, because your entire dream is arising within you, there is, and it appears that there are many objects and many events in the dream, and they are related to each other. There is a conditional relationship between this and that, but not between that and this. It appears that there are specific conditionalities, specific relationships between the objects that appear in your dream. But when you think about it, because you realize, I am the dreamer of this entire dream, you realize that the whole dream is actually one. It's one totality. It's one totality, the totality of you. The totality of you, the dreamer, you, the creator. In other words, the impression of causality does not stand on a solid ground when you contemplate that you, the creator of this dream, is not divided, is not made out of different, because for causality, you need differentiation. You need an impact of A relating to B relating to C, etc. But you, the dreamer of this entire dream, you are only one. You are one reality. So this is why we make a distinction in Advaita between the one reality and the impression of causality, the impression of multiplicity. So once you have understood that the karmic realm applies to the content of the dream, once you have understood that, your interest in deciphering the karmic relationships loses its interest, because you are coming to the understanding that, in fact, this multiplicity in experience, the multiplicity of experience, is referring to its source, which is the one reality, which is both its own cause and its own effect. The reality is its own cause and its own effect. So the phenomenal realm is interrelated. It's like a kaleidoscope. It's a puzzle where all the pieces are interconnected. It's like the relationship between moisture, heat, and pressure. Moisture, heat, and pressure, they're interrelated. Moisture changes, heat changes, pressure, barometric pressure changes. They're not apart. They're not apart. In the entire realm of perceptions and sensations and phenomena, it is one realm. You could say scientifically the entire realm is made out of dark matter, and 90% dark matter and 10% gluons or whatever. These are just models, of course, models. But what it's trying to point to is that the closer you look at phenomena, the more you find that it's interrelated. Galaxies, in the distant galaxies, and the experience that we are experiencing here in terms of the solar system are interrelated. And the interrelation between the realm of existence refers to the one reality. Like within your body, it's one body, but there are many millions of things happening within your body, your liver, your heart, your stomach, your nervous system, the various cells within the body. A million things are happening within your body, but it's one organism, as a metaphor, one organism. And you could say that, yes, the heartbeat is causing the blood flow. And the blood flow is causing the irrigation of the muscles and the nourishment of the muscles and the cells. You could say that, yes, it's true. But the main thing to understand in non-duality, in Advaita, is that first, everything is interrelated, meaning the world, the body, and the mind. It's interrelated as one. And its reality is one reality, which is the reality of consciousness, which we refer to as I. Not I, Magdi, not I, Snehashis, but I, awareness, I, awareness. There's one I, one reality, which is not a form, and yet it moves as form. Like the ocean is made out of water, as a metaphor, but it appears also as waves and as currents within the ocean. See? So you could say that reality is formless, and form is the dance of reality. It is dancing to itself. It creates its own dance, its own creation, and perceives it. This is why we say Brahman conceives, creates, perceives, and destroys. He is the conceiver, the creator, the perceiver, and the destroyer. Without lifting a finger, without lifting a finger, without lifting a finger.
I don't know if you have time today for a second question. It depends on the conditionality, as you explained, very well explained. I'm trying to actually put some conversation goals for everybody. Like you said, I already knew about that, but I just want to make this conversation goes through by putting that type of questions. So another question is, as far as you see the conditionality, like you explained, very well explained, how about unconditional? So let's say we say conditional
Yes.
and unconditional.
Yes.
And then we say conditional love, and we all are fighting and putting ourselves in even more sorrow, more pain. The husband is asking wife unconditional love, and wife is asking unconditional love, and then they're saying, oh, you do this, you don't do that. It is conditional, but we cannot agree with that, so make more pain.
Yes.
So how you are going to pursue unconditional?
Yeah. The limited cannot perceive the limitless. As long as we have the belief in the limitation of consciousness, as long as we're still under the influence of the belief and the feeling that I am a body mind, that the reality of I is the body, we cannot comprehend the unconditional, because the limited cannot comprehend the limitless. The form cannot comprehend the formless. We need to understand the formless. What is the meaning of the formless? Not just the meaning, but the true nature of formlessness. So we need to be investigative about our beliefs, our beliefs about consciousness. We know that we are conscious. We know that we are aware. But the belief that it is Magdi, or the body who is aware, the person who is aware, is a false belief. Only awareness is aware. Only God is God. Only truth is true. Awareness is not limited. In fact, if you investigate awareness, you will find that although the body has aged from 5-year-old to 7-year-old to 10-year-old, awareness has not aged. Even when the body gets 7 years old, 8 years old, you will find awareness has not aged. But you have to look, you have to investigate. If you do not investigate, then you remain under the conditional belief that consciousness depends on the body-mind. So we need to investigate whether, in fact, I am a body-mind which exists in time and space. That is crucial. Who cares about conditional, unconditional? Above all, we need to contemplate the sense of limitation, the sense of lack, the sense of unhappiness, the fear of death, the worry and the concern about the past and the future. We need to investigate the belief that I exist in time and space, that I am a son, that I have a history, and that I have a future. This investigation, nobody can do it for you. You have to do it on your own. Of course, there is guidance. There are friends who can give you pointers, give one pointer in this investigation. This is the crucial investigation that each one of us needs to carry, to come beyond the belief that I am a mortal body-mind, and to transcend the grip of emotions and the sense of lack. Now, academically speaking, I can speak about the unconditional, of course. Unconditional is absolute. If you look in your experience, what is it that is absolute in your experience? Don't try to make a conceptual story about the absolute or about the unconditional. Look in your experiences, your experience right now. What is it that is unconditional? When you take a look in your experience right now, you'll find that it's the same I which was hearing the words 5 minutes ago. And it's the same I which is hearing these words right now. The words have changed. The perceptions have changed. The sensations have changed. The feelings have changed. The temperature in the room maybe has changed. I don't know. But there is one thing which has not changed, which is awareness, consciousness, awareness. So when you are looking at the unconditional meaning it is not subject to conditions, meaning it is not subject to time, space, the weather, it's not subject to feelings, not subject to anything. Unconditional meaning beyond conditions. So when you investigate your experience, not theoretically, oh, unconditional means this and that, and no, you have to go directly to your experience. Otherwise, you are in the conceptual understanding, which is okay, but it's not the real deal. For the real deal, you have to go to your direct experience. When you go to your direct experience, you come to the clarity that that which is unconditional is awareness. And this awareness is not a concept, it's your experience. You are aware. It is your direct experience. So there is something within your, something within your direct experience, besides thoughts and feelings and sensations and perception. There is something which is unconditional, which is awareness. So the next is to understand that awareness refers to I am awareness. I am aware, I am awareness. It is I awareness which is aware that it is aware. It is I awareness which is aware that it is aware. It's not the body that is aware that it's aware. It's not the brain. It's not the heart or the liver that is. It is I which is aware. I am aware that I am aware. I awareness is aware that it is aware. That's an important understanding. First, that awareness is that which is unconditional. Secondly, that awareness refers to I, the reality of my experience is awareness. Why am I saying reality? Because reality and the question about unconditionality are connected. Reality is that which is the same across time and space. It doesn't change. Reality doesn't change. In the year 2024 or the year 2040, it becomes a different reality. No, no. The world may change, the mind may change, the body may change, galaxies may change, I don't know. But reality does not change. Reality is not something that changes. It's the same thing with awareness. It's the same awareness right now that 5 minutes ago. So awareness is the reality of our experience and is the reality to be referred to as I. It's a very important understanding. Once you have come to the understanding about that which is unconditional, that which is absolute, then you can investigate further the quotes unquote qualities of the unconditional. But that is not your question, and so therefore I will not go in that direction at this point in time. And at some other time, we can go into that direction. So one way of talking about the conditional and the unconditional is that that which is real is unconditional. Absolute. Love, beauty, freedom is unconditional. That which is conditional is the manifestation, the dance of Shiva, the play of consciousness. And it is just the way in which the absolute or the unconditional chooses to play and dance to itself. The fact that the rain is necessary for the seed to sprout and grow and become an orange tree. The rain is necessary, and the sunshine is necessary for the orange tree. That's in the realm of conditionality. The fact that there is that relationship is playful in a way. There is nothing at stake. That's very important to understand. There's nothing at stake. It is the creation of the creator, it's the creation of the unconditional, of the absolute. And one could ask ourselves, there's no problem with the rain and the sun being necessary for the growth of the orange tree. It's playful. We have no problem with that. Where do we have a problem? We have a problem with unhappiness. We have a problem with there is no unhappiness with the orange tree, the rain, and the sunshine. We have a problem with unhappiness. So in the non-dual teaching, we contemplate what is the root cause of unhappiness, what is the nature of unhappiness, and what is causeless peace and happiness. What is causeless peace and happiness? It's important not to become too abstract, not to become too philosophical in your spiritual pursuit. It is important to come back to where the tire hits the road, where the rubber hits the road. You need to come back to really what matters. What matters is peace and happiness. In your own life, your direct experience, causeless peace and happiness. Okay, Snehasis, thank you for your questions, and nice to meet you. Yes. Isaac, you write, hi Magdi, a few days ago you wrote, explore our beliefs about consciousness. Could you go into that? Yes, it is a common trap to imagine what consciousness is. Yes, Isaac. Isaac, there is no doubt about consciousness, meaning there is no doubt about awareness. Right now, awareness is, yes? Absolutely, yes. Beyond any doubt. So we could say, I am aware. We could say, awareness is real. It's my direct experience right now. We could not say that about what we perceive. Why? Because it is possible that what we perceive right now may be a hallucination or a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot say with absolute certainty that that which perceive is absolute. But what we can say with absolute certainty is that awareness is absolute. We cannot deny awareness. Now, meaning consciousness, we use the term awareness and consciousness synonymously. Now, why hold any belief about consciousness? We know we are conscious. We know consciousness is real. That's our direct experience. It requires no beliefs, right? It requires no beliefs. Direct experience is different from any belief. Now, the reason why we speak about beliefs about consciousness is because there is a common belief which we all share, which is the belief that I, consciousness, is a body-mind. We believe that consciousness depends on the body, is limited by the body-mind. This belief, we inherit it. It is not the result of our own discovery. We did not discover that consciousness depends on the brain or depends on the body or depends on the mind. We did not discover that. We believe that. A belief is a thought that is not investigated. It is not, it has no validity. So we need to investigate the validity of that belief. Is it, do we have any proof, whichever, any proof, that consciousness arises out of the brain or out of the body?
No.
We don't.
No, we don't.
So because we don't, it is better to remain, how do you say? Neutral about it. Meaning to say, I know awareness is real. It's my direct experience 24/7. I don't know what it is. Which is fine. It's fine. It's very different from saying awareness is real and it depends on the body, mind, and it's born, it's gonna die, it's gonna become a better awareness, it's gonna be transformed by, by experience. So we hold the position of not knowing. The position of not knowing is more of an open position, blank state. It's an open position. So the fear and the worry They are because we believe that when something happens to the body, something is going to happen to I consciousness. We believe and we feel that I consciousness, I am mortal. We believe and we feel that I consciousness, I'm a male or female or tall or short or blah, blah, blah. We give consciousness phenomenal qualities without any validation. That's a belief. Now, when we are living under the belief that I consciousness, I'm the body mind, I'm dependent on the body mind, we are very unhappy. We're worried about the past, the future, we're regretting, we're in our emotions. When somebody insults the body, we feel that they've insulted I consciousness. We get insulted. Imagine somebody says, you are completely stupid. And you say, yeah, definitely, this body mind can be very stupid. It's a limited object. The body mind is limited. It's limited in its capacity. Because it is limited, it can sometimes act in ways that are limited. Right? I mean, yeah, I'm okay with the body can be stupid. I have no problem with that. I don't feel insulted when somebody tells me you're stupid. I say, you're right. I'm fully on board with you. I am fully on board. I can even sign, a notarized form. I can sign a form that I am stupid, but I am very clear that I am talking about the body, because I consciousness, I'm like the wide open sky, which is the reality of my experience. The reality of my experience is awareness. So it's not a new belief. I'm not replacing an old belief with a new belief, Isaac. I am not. I'm saying let's remain completely agnostic. As what? As awareness. Here I am, effortless awareness. Hello, Magdi. Hello, Isaac. I have nothing to defend. Not defending an identity. You see what I mean, Isaac? You're not defending an identity. I'm not trying to make people love me or hate me or put me on pedestal. I'm not looking for that. The body, take care of the body. I manage the body like I manage my car. Well, I manage my body a little bit better than my car, but still, I manage the body like I manage an object. Because that's what it is. I don't mean to ignore the body. The body needs rest, needs social interaction, needs celebration. Yeah. So, but peace and happiness does not depend on the body. That's the key thing, Isaac. If your peace and happiness depends on the neighbors, on the body, on what people think about you, on your images about yourself, on your bank account, on the color of your car, on your sexuality, on your size, on how many white hair you have. We are in La La Land, deep, deep, deep. No. Peace and happiness is unconditional, like Snehashi was saying about the unconditionality. Peace and happiness is unconditional. We need to honor the peace, the God's peace that He gave to us. He gave us a peace of God, not a personal peace, my personal peace. No, it's not my personal peace. It is God's peace that's appearing to us, you see. And so we honor God's peace, so we honor our freedom, and equally we honor each other's freedom, because your freedom is God's freedom, equal to my freedom, which is God's freedom. It is one freedom, absolute, you see. You see. But when I give importance to my body, why? How can you control the body? You can't even grow your own hair. You cannot even stop your nails from growing, you know, Isaac? The body is a celebration, but not the end game. The body is not the end game, right? Right? It's an enjoyable instrument up to a point. It's also a pain in the butt, you know. Right? The darn body, right? The aging, you know, all that, you know. Where are the good looks? Where are the good looks? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Magdi.
Yes, Isaac. Yeah. Yes, Isaac. Beautiful. Nice to see you.
Yes.
Okay. Mucho gusto.
You chose.
Okay. Any questions? Hello,
Hi, Meg.
Buddha. Hello. Hey,
Um,
Buddha. Yes.
I have a little question, or
Yes.
maybe
Okay.
a little. I have an inkling or a intuition that as liberation is on the menu, it is first
Yes.
things that are enjoyable in life, but perhaps require some work and input in the exchange. So like a pet, you know, it's enjoyable and it's a lovely thing, but there's part of me that's like, sometimes when I think about, oh, that would be fun, part of me is like, well, with liberation first on the menu, I don't want too many things that pull my attention, because life already has that dynamic without me adding to it. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on those types of commitments.
So the joy, the happiness doesn't come from the world. It doesn't come from your relationship with your cat, or from your relationship with family, your friends. It comes from the source. So joy, peace, and happiness, they come from joy, peace, and happiness. They come from the source. Now, we're not talking about a temporary experience. Oh, well, I enjoy this, and now it's a bummer. Okay, now I enjoy that. Well, that's great. Nah, now it's too old. I need a new thing. No, we're not talking about that. Obviously, we're talking about joy that is real. So of course, that which is real must come from reality. So the joy that I experience in petting my cat, or being with a friend, or going for a walk, if it's an experience in time and space, something has hemmed it in. But when it's not hemmed in, it's open. So our interest in truth is our interest in peace and happiness. And it's not that complicated. Peace and happiness, when we're not defining, when we're not imposing any limits, any limitations onto anything, onto each other, onto oneself, onto our cat, onto our neighbors. In the absence of limitations, in the absence of personal conditions, there are conditions in the universe, in the world, whatever they are. A neighbor accidentally parks their car in front of our garage. We come home and we have to knock on the door. Sorry, can you move your car so I can? These are conditions come from the universe. Do they create unhappiness? Do we need to have the universe arranged in a certain way so that our happiness is cozy-wozy? Or is our happiness connected to our understanding about the universality of consciousness and its formlessness? That joy is formless. Love and peace is formless. It can express itself like in this conversation. It's very sweet. It's loving, it's tender. It can express itself that way. It can appear that way. It can take on this form. But what when the form is the neighbor parking their car in front of our garage? Has there suddenly been a mistake? Has God suddenly committed a sin? It's a good question, no?
Yes.
Because we do consider, oh, and my neighbor, he's blah, 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 blah. They shouldn't blah, 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 blah. We make an image, we make a conclusion, we make a condition, and we operate from that place. We operate from that judgmental place, conditional place. So then, yes, you are right. Then we experience happiness, unhappiness, happiness, unhappiness. Unhappy when they park their car in front of our garage. happy when the cat is nice and sweet, unhappy when the cat, I say come and they don't come, whatever. So although freedom, peace, and happiness can take on various expressions, they are formless, and all forms arises out of the formlessness. We just have to be watchful not to define ourselves, define our world, define even spiritual definitions of ourselves. And to live life as a flow, sort of as a dance that takes on a variety of forms, whatever form it takes. We remain fluid, we remain easy, available. We respond in the moment. We take into account, the entire situation in the moment. So it's a fresh unfolding, fresh expression that takes into account our inner realm. But it's not defining, we are not defining ourself, meaning consciousness. We're not defining ourself. There's only one self, one reality, as being dependent on anything, any condition, any form, for our happiness. Now, of course, we take care of the body, we take care of the mind, we take care of the world, we take care of our house, our car, our neighbor, our partner, our kids, whatever. Best we can. It's part of how things are appearing. But there's nothing at stake, you see, nothing at stake. There isn't like, it's got to be this way. My partner has to be that way. My boss has to be that way. My neighbor has to be that way. That's. So the more we are transparent, and so at the feeling level, in your body, notice sometimes the places within your body that sort of tighten up a little bit. You have to be interested in, and release that. That's an silent internal work that unknots a knot, These knots inside of us. They're past old habits, tendencies, about all sorts of things. That's a fascinating thing, to be sort of exploring the contractions within the body. Sometimes they're very obvious, in the chest, in the face, but sometimes even they maybe even be in the hand or a certain tightness of the fist. It's interesting to be looking in that direction, because there are a lot of habitual positions, you know, in the body, sort of defending, protecting the sense of me. It's just a habit, you know. And sometimes we have an image about happiness, what it looks like. But it's just an image. To see, you know, the images that we have about how our experience should be, what happiness should look like. We may even have ideas about how our body should feel like. But body is a bundle of sensations. Simply noticing the sensations. And there are some sensations that are trying to protect the ghost. You know, and those sensations, they're different from just the sensation of your feet on the ground. They're the sensation of sort of tightening, psychological tightening. You know, now those sensations you can let them go, but the sensation of your feet on the ground, that is inconsequential.
I'm really fascinated by the direction you went with my question. It hits like 10 layers down from where I was on that, and I felt myself back in the center again on it. It's very unexpected. Yes.
How those questions appear and what words appear, I don't know. Right.
But somehow it was spot on. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Marga. Nice to chat with you. Yeah. Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, Holger, Trish, Marga, Nathan, nice to meet you, Nathan. Snehashis, thank you for meeting you. Thank you for your questions. Grace, Nina.
Thank you, Magdi.
Hola, Gloriana.
Hola, Magdi. Thank you.
Lovely to see you. And Esther. Hey, Esther. Isaac. Karen.
Gracias, Magdi.
Hi, Karen. Isaac. Walter. Lovely to see you, Walter. Zoe. Hi, Zoe. And Lori. Hello, Lori.
Thank you, Magdi.
See you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Magdi.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.